Storm Cussin by Black Pistol Fire. Great song. Let's get to it. Standard tuning, and you're going to put your capo on the 4th fret. Going to start with, and by the way, I'll just refer to all of them in relation to the capo. Okay, so 2nd fret means 2 frets up from the capo. You're going to start with the shape of a B7, which looks like this, and that will be 2nd fret of the A string, 1st fret of the D string, 2nd on the G, open B string, 2nd on the E. That is a B7, only in this case it's actually a D sharp 7. He starts with tremolo on. Goes through each one of those notes, and then I think the tremolo goes off, at least for the majority of the song. It comes on again later. But starts with that, and then it goes into the main riff. Now, watching Kevin live, this is what he's doing. Open E string, hammers on to the 3rd. Open A string, hammers on to the 2nd. And it ends with the 5th fret of the D string. Now, the 5th fret of the D string is the same thing as the open G string. See, 2 different strings, but they sound identical. So, Kevin ends that 5th fret on the D string. That last half of the riff is B string 3, 5, 3. And then it goes to the G string, 4th fret, and then I kind of just pull my finger off to reveal the open tone of that G string. So 4, open, 2, back to 4. Slide up from 2 to 4. Now, a lot of times I'll just kind of use my pick only once or twice during that whole 2nd half, but I've watched Kevin do it, and he picks almost every note. So, whatever you're comfortable with, and whatever sounds the best when you're playing it. So, that's the main riff throughout the song. Now, before I move on, I will say that my son and I have a little debate. Ike says that he does this in the studio version, and I'm talking about that run-up. So basically from open E to 3, open A to 2. I don't hear that in the studio version. I obviously see him play it live, and I can hear him playing it live, but the studio version, all I hear is this. So kind of hitting a power chord there, 2nd fret of the A string. And then I do hear that last note, that D string 5th fret. I hear that, and then I hear the... Well, Isaac says he hears... So, tell me if you hear the walk-up from the open E string, or if you hear just the power chord. I'd like to know your opinion. And you know what I want to hear. Okay, so next he does the same riff. He just moves it up 5 frets. So instead of... He goes up here and starts on the 5th fret of the E string. Hammers on 3 frets up. So from 5 to 8. And then goes to the A string 5 to 7. And then ends on the 5th fret of the D string. Sound familiar? It's that same note. So they both end on the same note, even though they're starting from a different place. Now that can also be played down here, starting on the A string. Hammer from open to 3. Open to 2 on the D string. Open G string. Or 5th fret of the D string. And then the last half is, that would be 12 to 14 on the B string, back to 12, 13 on the G string, 12 I think twice, and then hammers on to 14. And then he does it one more time, but instead of ending on the 14 on the B, he slides up to the 16 on the B. Now again, if you choose to play it down here with the open strings, you can go E string, 3 to 5, 3, 5, 3, and then to 5 on the B string. And again, end on from 3 to 5 on the E string. And then do the same thing and slide from 3 up to 7. Now, I will say this, live, he does not do that, at least the ones I've seen, maybe he does, but I don't really see that run as much as I just see him play an A chord, and then he goes back to. So, in the studio version, he does do that. He does that and then goes back to the main riff there, starting on the open string of the E. Okay, so I hope that was not as confusing as it sounded in my brain. And then, let's see, it goes to the chorus, which is... So that's basically an A chord, a B chord, to an E major chord. So open A string, and then on the D and G string, you'll be on the 2nd fret. And then you just move that power chord up 2 frets. So now you are on the 2nd fret of the A string, 4th fret of the D and G strings, to an E major, which is going to be open E string, 2nd fret of the A and D, 1st fret of the G. And that is the last little bit of it is now a C chord. So 3rd fret of the A string, 2nd fret of the D string, open G string, 1st fret of the B. And then you go back to that B7, which is how the song started, and he just hits that for a real quick second and chops it off rather quickly. All right, we're ready for the solo. It starts with an E power chord, and then it goes into this. Goes into a little bridge there. So that solo is actually pretty easy. It starts, like I said, with that E major power chord, or just maybe an E power chord, open E string, 1st fret of the A string. And then you're going to slide up from 3 to 5 on the B string. So slide from B3 up to B5. And then hit the open E string, which, by the way, is the same note. So you'll go open 3 on the E string. 5, 3 open, kind of a pull off real fast. And once you've done that, 5, 3 open pull off on the E string, you'll go back to the 3rd fret of the B string. A power chord twice to an E power chord. So after that B3, the last time you get there, you will hit the B open. And it's more of a just pulling your finger off to reveal that open note. And there's only 2 changes that you'll make in the solo. The first change is after you've played that riff twice, you turn on a fuzz pedal. And play 6 more times with the fuzz on. The other change is, I forget at exactly which number it is, but I think about the 6th time you play it, instead of going back to that A power chord twice, you'll slide back from B3 up to B5. So something like this. Does that make sense? So just, you can listen to the song and kind of see how he goes up to that note right there one time during that solo. Other than that, again, kind of an easy solo, but it sounds great, and I think you can do it. And then it goes to that little bridge of him saying, "What are you waiting for? Time to settle the score." And that's just going from a C back to that B7, and he's really hitting the notes individually, arpeggio. And he does hit the open E string once. And also I hear him hammer into position on that B a couple of times. So he goes... not quite that rhythmically or you know, that many times in a row, but he hits the open string and then puts his hand into position on that chord. And then it goes to Time to Settle the Score. It goes back to... And that's how the song ends. Storm Cussin by Black Pistol Fire. Love this song. Hope you do too. Hope you can learn to play it. Hope you do play it. Hope you have some fun. Over and out from my easy chair.